Check. 1 2 1 2. In case you didn't know, this is Track Talk with CH and Ferdy. Yeah, that was a little overly dramatic intro right there. Welcome back, y'all. This is episode 2, Track Talk, CH and Ferdy. I gave you a little instrumental that I composed myself. Say what's up to the people first.
What's up?
Once again, the man of many words. Alright, I want to start first real quick. I want to do a quick rest in peace to the 17 people who passed away in the fatal shooting in Florida, including somebody from the track world. As cross-country coach, apologize if I get the name wrong. Looks like it's Scott Beagle was one of the people who passed away in this tragic turn of events. He was actually trying to help students, by shielding them. He opened up his room to let students in, and unfortunately that's when he met his demise. So we want to send a rest in peace to him and the others who did pass away in this senseless act of violence. So yeah, hate to start the show off on a down note, but
it has to be said though.
Yeah, definitely. And since we do say sports are 80% mental, 20% physical, let's make sure that we have our mentals in order. If you have anything that's going on in your life that you need to talk to a coach, a counselor about, whether it's the high school, collegiate level, make sure you talk to somebody. Get those feelings out there. Let somebody know when something's going wrong before you resort to, different things that could turn out tragic. That's all I want to say about that. So, and bless all those families of those lost ones as well. So what's been going on, man? How you been?
I've been doing all right.
Yeah.
Doing all right. Just I've been watching the Olympics a bit. Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not track, but I think every track person has the dream of being in the Olympics, so it kind of relates.
Yeah, and a lot of people from the track world do sometimes dip over into the bobsledding industry. So
sprinters.
Yes, especially sprinters. So, but I'll be honest though, I haven't really been checking it out. I like the Olympics, but I'm more of a Summer Olympics person, and it's just, I don't know. It just seems like this year they didn't give like the big intro to the Olympics. It's
probably because it's in Korea. I don't know.
Yeah, I think.
Whatever. It's too political now.
Yeah. I think the whole North and South Korea thing kind of overshadowed everything.
And Russia not having a quote unquote team.
Even
though they're there, they're just represented as Olympic athletes of Russia.
That sounds like Russia. I could be wrong, but it just sounds like Russia. But that's dope. Play on words, pun intended. That's dope. Yeah, literally doping. Stay away from drugs, kids. But moving right along. Before we get into our topic of the night, man, I was checking out the TFRS website, and I was looking up some of the leaderboard numbers, and I talked to you about this earlier today. Man, she's only a freshman, but Sydney is tearing it up.
Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey City stand up. I don't know if it's Jersey City, but Jersey represent.
It's my birth state, so
yeah,
I'll always say it.
Yeah, but man, she's only a freshman. She's already been to the Olympics. She's got all kinds of records, and right now she's number 1 in the nation as a freshman.
Collegiately.
Yeah, collegiate. Let's get that out there. This is college rankings. But number 1 as a freshman in the 300 and the 400. Already hit a 36-12 in the 300. 51-44 in the 400. God, boys not running that. And she's a freshman in college, ladies and gentlemen. Freshman Sydney McLaughlin. She's the truth, man.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, she's yeah.
Hopefully everything continues to go well.
Yeah. There is another freshman holding it down too, from Middle Tennessee State, Cecilia Francis. 6'9" in the 55.
Fire.
Yeah. Ironically enough, though, that's number 1 in college. But number 1 in high school, Thelma Davies from Girard College High School.
What you about to tell me?
6'7". in the 55. And she's a junior in high school. 6'7", number 1 in the nation in high school.
Get your scholarship money.
Yes, yeah. Her money is kind of waiting on her. That's one of those, where do you want to go? What event do you want to run? Here, just come. It's okay.
Here, we'll buy you a car. Oh, excuse me.
Oops,
There's not that kind of recruiting going on.
Whoa, yeah. That doesn't happen at
this
all.
isn't basketball or football.
Yeah, man. I like this. I think is it me or is just like the youth movement in track and field just crazy? Like for the last couple of years, a lot of young kids have been fast early.
Yeah.
You know, you have your Normans, you have your Candaces, you have your Sydneys, you know, and these are all athletes who represented at least in the Olympic trials, and in Sydney McLaughlin's case, you know, the Olympics before they went to college.
And what's her name? Vashti Cunningham.
Yeah.
High jump. Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's Randall Cunningham's daughter. She's a beast.
Yeah. I mean, it has to do with two things, I think. One, these kids are coming from parents who have been athletes.
Yep.
And probably at a high level. And two, coaching's getting better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let's be real. I ran in the 90s, and I look at some of the workouts that I did when I was in high school.
Sounds like over 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, 95. 23 years ago. So I look at some of the workouts that I did when I was in high school. And then I look at some of the workouts that I give to the athletes that run the similar events to what I ran. Completely different. I found out like about 4 years ago, I was just using one of those Map My Run websites. And I just mapped a run that we used to do when we were in high school. I'm like, hold up, this was like a 5-mile run. And that was like a 4, 6, 8 runner. I think my coach had me as a distance runner. I didn't even know it. For real. It's crazy.
And probably the rest of the team too.
Yeah. We did a lot of runs to the zoo, which is about 5 miles. We ran to the beach, was like a 10-mile run. We had a bunch of 20-minute runs in practice, you know, just repeat 100s. And I'm like, man, that was a distance runner. Didn't know it. So, but yeah, the sports science side behind everything is completely different. Sports nutrition is different. I mean, a lot of things are different. And like you said, that whole genetics thing, you know, we have these athletes coming from these parents who were studs, and they hook up and have a stud baby.
Basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's called breeding.
Yeah, there you go. Another little interesting tidbit. Number 1 in the nation, college. Mm-hmm. A junior from Georgia, Kate Hall, in the long jump, 21.9.5. Number 1.
I know where you're going with this.
In the long jump.
Go ahead.
In the nation. In high school, 21.8. Lene Tava Thomas, straight out of Rush Henrietta. That's local. Shout out to Lene.
You know, I mean, of course the championship season is coming up for college.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, I hope those results that they're getting from these events will, well, in the case of the long jump, increase. In case of like the 55, will decrease. Yeah.
I got one more for you, though, on the girls' side.
All right.
Number 1 in the nation. She's a senior at Stanford. This is college. Olivia Baker in the 600. 128.72.
Shout out to Coach Sanders at Stanford.
Yes, sir. Going back to the high school rankings. Number 1 in the nation. A junior in high school. Representing Rochester, Section 5, Spencerport High School, Vanessa Watson, 131.56. She's a junior, y'all. Junior in high school. Not only that, she went, 132? About a month before that, after she ran a 41 in the 300.
Back-to-back.
Back-to-back events. I mean, there was a guys race in between, but yeah, back-to-back pretty much. So, shout out to everybody.
Yeah, definitely within half an hour.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Might even be short. I think it was one of those quick quick turnarounds. So, you know, definitely shout out to those young ladies that are out there doing it big. Couple of other names I could mention out there. Junior from Florida State, Andre, looks like yours, 652 in the 60. Mm-hmm. Floating. Benjamin Vidal from Florida, freshman, 32.80 in the 3. Michael Norman, one of those super youth athletes that I mentioned. He was in the Olympic trials back in 2016, and he is a sophomore at USC, 45 flat in the 400. Remember, y'all, this is indoor track we're talking about. This is extra turns on the 200, and extra turns on the 400, a whole lot of turns on that 600, and these are the times they're dropping. Granted, I know it's a controlled environment and everything like that because there's no weather issues, but these are still some fast times regardless. Michael Cerrone from UTEP, sophomore, 600, 114.79. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it just, like I said, championship season coming up, so that just makes it more exciting.
Yeah, to see it, some people are kind of just holding off because they know what they have, coming up. It's going to be crazy when NCAA championships roll around, when the high school nationals, whether it be USATF or New Balance, roll around. We're going to see some pretty interesting stuff. And this is the part of the season I like because I do a lot less coaching and I become more of a fan. I just like to watch and enjoy. Because if you're still coaching super, super hardcore at this point, you probably forgot some stuff early on in the season. It's kind of like that.
You can't compensate at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of like cruise control mode.
Whatever you've done. You're just kind of maintaining at this point.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Pretty much, So, but shout out to all those athletes we shouted out, on the high school and college national leaderboards doing their thing. And I guess we can get into our topic for tonight.
Let's do it.
Yeah, information for parents of track athletes, and we're aiming typically at the high school level athlete, but at the same time, the elite high school athlete turns into that college athlete. So it goes, not only just with high school, but with college as well. So a lot of information that we're going to be shooting out at you. It's going to be pertinent at all levels. So
sure is.
And we might drop a couple of bombs tonight, so be prepared. You might not like everything you hear.
That's okay. You'll live.
Yeah,
you'll be all right. So
I think you should start off with this first bullet point we got going on here.
Yeah. This one, this little quote, sort of quote, probably gonna mess it up. I remember Coach Lawrence Seagrave talk about it, and he mentioned, and I think he was quoting somebody else, and he said, "Coaching would be a lot easier if the children's were orphans."
We dropping a bomb on that one right there.
Now, it makes total sense. There are a number of parents who just get in the way when we're coaching. We don't want. Let me put it this way. Okay, no, we don't want your opinion. Okay, what? We get it. We're with your child for, a couple hours a day.
Yeah.
So let's say roughly between 10 and 20 hours a week. We're with your kid.
Especially if this is indoor track meet.
What? Especially when it comes with the track meets.
Yeah.
So maybe they're an angel at home and probably not so much at practice. They're around their friends, their delinquent friends.
Yeah.
So
cell phones.
It just kind of they feed off each other. So if one's being okay,
lazy,
calm down. Hold on. Okay. One's being lazy, one's being disruptive. One's just not coming to practice. Things get stupid.
Yeah, or they come to practice and just don't do anything.
Yeah. So, wow, I really went a little bit off topic, but going back to the children being orphans, sometimes just parents just let us do our thing.
Yeah.
If you have a concern, by all means, you can let us know.
Yeah. What he's not saying is don't just drop your kids off. All right, there you go. I don't care what happens to you if you die and fall off a cliff in practice. So be it. It's coach's fault. We're not saying that. We're just saying don't be attached at the hip when you have a student athlete. Coaches have to be certified to coach. Coaches have to go through background checks to coach. It takes a lot just to be it takes just as much, at least in New York State, to be a volunteer assistant coach as you would have to be a head coach. So the people that are in place, I'm not going to say the coaches are all angels, but there's a lot of screening that goes through being a coach. You can't just walk off the street and jump in and say, hey, I like track. I used to watch a couple meets. I want to be a coach. There's a lot of things you have to do before you become a coach, including fingerprinting, along with the background check, which makes the background check easier. And I'll just give you a heads up. Like for me, for example, I coach a track club and I coach at the high school level. I got fingerprinted to coach at the high school level. I get a annual background check every single year to coach at the USATF track and field level. So, there's a lot of things going into this. We're not just, out here hanging out, just collecting a paycheck. Well, some of us are, but I won't, but
yeah,
yeah, it happens. But at the same time, just know that, your coaches that are committed to your athletes have your athletes' best interest at hand. I know you may feel like you know better sometimes, but have confidence, have faith in your coaches, especially when you have a coach that is involved and really, really, looking out for your athletes, on and off the track. We're talking about, the ones that are checking up, making sure they're okay in the classroom, the ones that are making sure that they have nutrition plans in place so that they have an idea of what they should be. We know they're going to eat McDonald's, but, at least giving them an idea of, making a healthy choice at McDonald's. If you're going to get a chicken sandwich, get the grilled chicken sandwich, not the fried chicken sandwich. A coach like that actually cares a little bit about, their athlete, So, yeah.
Yeah. So listen, parents. If I haven't. Let me just put this out there. I haven't really coached in a few years, but I'm still a part of the sport.
You're active. I think it's safe to say you're active.
I'm active. I'm just a little away, pretty far away from it. But I know more about this sport than you do as a parent. Okay. So, unless just because you did track before in the 90s and you want workouts done like that you did in the 90s, it's not going to work.
Yeah, not in 2018.
No, not especially if you get like a really educated coach.
Yeah.
And who interacts with other really educated coaches, a fair amount. So, just remember, if you like with me, I can get into the science of it and just blow your head out of the water, so that way you can just shut up and get out of my face and let me do my thing. But if you want to have that little battle, we can do it. But yeah, just let me work.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, if you have a a concern, obviously you want to make that known, but address that with the coach. Ask the coach questions, and if the coach gives you answers that are showing that coach knows what he's doing, let the coach be a coach. Because sometimes the biggest detriment to an athlete being successful is not the workout, it's not the laziness. A lot of times it's that parent that gets in the way of that athlete, because we want to vicariously live through our athlete, and we shouldn't do that. You might have been a star 400 runner, you might have been a star hurdler. Your kid might be a 1500 runner. Your kid might be a long jumper, but just let them do what they do. And there's a lot of times things come later. So they might be in 7th or 8th grade, starting young, and they run like about 3 or 4 different events. They might add a couple of events by the time they're a junior and have gotten rid of a couple because they found out, okay, throughout the course of my trying events, I really like this event, but I found out I'm really, really good at it. I might have started out as a 100-meter runner and a 200-meter runner, but now I'm a hurdler and a jumper because I found out I'm really good at those and I like those better. So, it happens. Just sometimes you got to let things happen. Let your kids be kids. Let your kids learn. Let them live life. And sometimes they have to fail before they can succeed. So,
yeah, don't be a helicopter parent.
Yeah, don't be Diddy.
If you don't know what a helicopter parent is, think about a helicopter hovering over a house, and now your kid is the house, and you're always on top of him, seeing that he does everything right, he's not making mistakes. Let the kid make mistakes.
Yeah, that's how they learn. And it's okay to be involved, but don't hover. Hovering is not good, because think about it too. a lot of times we're talking about high school kids, we're talking about college kids. They have social lives. If their parents are hovering around, you're not doing a lot of good for their like social well-being. You know, it's not really going good, looking good on the gram and the Snapchat storyline. Yeah. So
yeah, like, and think of it like this: do you, as a parent, want your parents knowing what you're doing? Not really. You probably don't. I don't tell my parents everything.
Yeah.
I only let them know, hey, I'm going to Vegas. I'll be back.
Because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah. So.
And you also have to remember this. This might come off kind of harsh, but it needs to be said. Your child may be the center of your universe, but they're not the center of the universe. Remember, as coaches, we're here to coach the entire team. So while we do have elite athletes that are going to stand out more than some, we're still coaching the non-elite athletes just as hard as we are coaching the elite athletes. Okay, so that goes back to what we've said before about, treating everybody fair but not the same. So workouts may be adjusted because one athlete is a little more elite than another athlete, but in all fairness, the fair part of it, they might be doing the same workout, just different percentages. We can get into that another time, but just remember, if your athlete was long jumping 17 feet in 5th grade, that's great if you tell us that. But if we see them every day and they're jumping 17 feet in the triple jump, yeah, it's not that's not good. So,
there are a lot of elite children that run track at their age level.
Yeah,
and if you've been to the USATF Junior Olympics or the AAU Junior Olympics, you'll see them. And some of them turn out to be really great athletes. A number of them just turn out to be flops.
Yeah.
I think one that sticks out recently is, I don't know if you've heard the name Bryce Love. He was a Heisman candidate this past year.
Yeah, Stanford.
Yeah, monster as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Monster as a kid.
I think he had national records in 3 age groups.
Yeah. So, I mean, and when I see that now, I only think, all right, let's see how long they can last. Because then you get vulture coaches. And you get everyone trying to get a piece of the pie, saying you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do that. The parents think one thing, a coach says another thing.
You're getting pulled in all different directions.
Yeah, it can get stupid real quick.
Yeah.
And to the expense of the kid.
Yeah, and then you got to think, too. You bring up Bryce Love as a good example. Interests change. You have a lot of kids that play a lot of different athletes, but unfortunately we're in the age of the specialized athlete that plays basketball year-round. So that, in my day, I just go my little old school moment. Back in my day, I played football. I wanted to play basketball, and I wanted to do track. You had a lot of people that played football, they played basketball, they did track. They played football, they played basketball, they did baseball. They did soccer, they did basketball, they did baseball, so on and so forth. They were 3-sport athletes, 3 different sports in 3 different seasons. Nowadays, you have football, then you have winter lifting, then you have spring ball, then you have summer preseason, and then you have football again. We're talking about high school. We're not talking about NFL. We're talking about high school athletes. You have basketball season, then you have AAU, then you have more AAU, then you have preseason, then you have basketball season. I don't even want to get into soccer and year-round travel soccer and, all these elite leagues.
Travel soccer nonsense. Yo, back off of our athletes, soccer. No, stop.
Travel soccer is the death of track and field, I tell you. Lacrosse is the new thing. Like people are getting specialized coaches for lacrosse, and I'll say this: I can see it from both sides, but at the same time, give your kids options. Let your kids decide. If a kid really likes a sport, let them do that. I'll give you a good example. I would love for my daughter to be a track athlete and a track star, but at the same time, I'm not going to train her year-round. Because she's 9. I want her to actually miss track and do something else. So she's in gymnastics, she's in dance, she's in other things. So that when track season comes around, she's looking forward to track. When you're playing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. See how boring I just sounded? Like I said, over like 5 times. That's how the sports tend to get if you're playing the same thing over and over. You're looking at your friends, they're over there playing football one season. Now they're on the track team. Now they're playing lacrosse. And you're just like, football, football, football. Give your kids some options. There's different skill sets that they can develop. There was when I was coaching a couple years ago, we had a lot of kids that ran on our spring track team that never ran indoor. And I used to always want to run the indoor, but then I'm like, you know what? They play basketball. Those are going to be our jumpers come outdoor season because they're getting a different skill set. You know, we used to recruit volleyball players. We recruit soccer players too because they have lots of endurance and some of them have some great speed. So getting different skill sets from different sports can actually make them a better athlete in that sport you want them to be successful in. So that's just something else to think about too.
You know, you should get your daughter in tennis. Cause, you know, if she's really good at it,
hey,
that's where the money's at for the females.
Yeah, shout out to Serena and Venus.
That's where the money's at.
Yeah.
For guys
need to play basketball.
Go
baseball.
Go baseball.
Yeah.
Baseball is a safe route. You're really not gonna get hurt. And if you're really good, you're gonna get paid hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you won't make anywhere near that in track, but track is definitely a good cross training, I would say, for pretty much every sport that you're gonna do. So
yeah, I don't understand why football players don't run track. If you have linemen that you need to get footwork,
because
they should be throwing.
coaches. They're coaches.
Yeah. If you have running backs and receivers you want to get faster, I'm just saying, track and field, sprinters.
It makes sense, but
yeah.
When things make sense, why do it?
Yeah. And going back to the whole what we're talking about as far as parents having side coaches in multiple sports. Parents, I understand you want your athletes, your children to be better athletes. You want them to get, the best training available. It comes a point though, you got to make a choice. If they're going to be a soccer player, that's okay. If they're going to be a track athlete, that's okay. They can't do both at the same time because remember, these are kids that are still developing and growing and their bodies are changing. The growth plates are open. And if they are doing multiple sports within the same season, there's going to be that from the soccer match to the track meet injury. There's going to be that from the basketball court to the lacrosse tournament injury because they're still kids. I don't care how elite an athlete is. A 16-year-old is a 16-year-old. A 12-year-old is a 12-year-old. That's just science. So we have to make sure we're not overworking these kids. Kids. Remember, at the end of the day, these are kids we're talking about. We do not want to overwork these children, putting them in all these things. You can have them try a variety of sports, but just do one at a time. If they like the sport, let them do it again next year. If they don't like it, okay, then try something else. But there's just too much overload going on. And I think, honestly, that might be a lot of the reason why these athletes at higher levels are getting injuries so much. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
I agree. I'll go one further. There are also people who look for a strength and conditioning coach, which I get. Here's the thing. If in my program, I have that we're doing the snatch, one of the Olympic lifts.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason for me doing the snatch and not a power clean. There's a reason that I'm doing a drop landing and not a drop jump or a box jump, whatever you want to call it that. If you go to a different coach, like a strength and conditioning coach,
they're just that.
Yeah, they don't know what my plan is and how I'm looking at the physiology of everything
and why.
Yeah, pretty much why I'm doing these things. They'll
get stronger.
Hopefully, they're actually a good strength and conditioning coach. There are actually a lot of posers out there. There are a number of certifications which I tend to hate really the idea of certifications over somebody having a degree. But if you are gonna look for a coach, look for someone from that has a certification from the NSCA, the National Strength and Conditioning Association, because that's a really in-depth program they have to go through, and the textbook is super thick, and I have it, and I haven't gone through it all. But yeah, so if you're gonna if you're looking to get somebody else to help, understand it may be a detriment because they don't know what me as a coach I'm doing to help them. They might look at it as progressing them to something more difficult a lot faster than I want them to.
Yeah. Remember, they're kids.
I'm big on slow progression and make sure they're getting things right, technique, power development, everything set before I go on to the next thing, or even have a certain level of competency in a movement or exercise before we move on to something different.
Yeah, I think I said in the last episode, my whole philosophy in the weight room is when in doubt, go light and do it right. Because I'd rather you do lightweight, learn the proper way to do the movement, than try and impress me as a coach. Well, I don't care how much you lift as long as you're doing the lifting. You're trying to impress your coach or trying to impress your friends, or you don't want to look embarrassed by lifting baby weight, like we used to call it, and injure yourself.
Like the guys lifting less than the girls.
It happens. I got some girls power cleaning more than the guys. It happens.
It's all good.
But hey, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, if you lift that monster weight and you get injured, what good is the weight doing now? So be mindful that these kids are kids. And also, when we're talking about going to these other coaches, like Ferdy said, not only do they not know what we're doing, they might not know what they were doing things. So if you take a strength and conditioning coach is lessons, say on a Wednesday, but that just happens to be your team's recovery day, when is your athlete recovering? Because especially in track and field, recovery is an athlete's best friend. You cannot get super fast, super strong, and expect to have all these peaks and PRs and these monster marks and monster throws and monster times without recovering from all the training you're doing. If we just keep running them into the ground, running them into the ground, running them to the ground, they're going to stay on the ground pretty much. So, we got to be careful of that. When in doubt, ask the coach that your athlete is of the sport that they're participating in that current moment, what's going on, and ask them, hey, I'm thinking about sending them to this coach for this, or, I want to get them some more strength and conditioning. The coach might be on board with you and say, hey, you know what, that's a good idea, but just make sure if you can do it on these days, because this is the day we do this or that, and this will pair up well. Or a coach might say, hell to the nah, because we have a set plan that we lift on these days, and the lifting matches the workout. So if we have a power day in the weight room, it's probably because we had a speed and power day in the workout, as far as the running workout. If we have an endurance-based day as far as our running, we're probably going to have like an endurance-based bodybuilding day in the weight room. So the workouts have to all match up. You don't want to get the body all jacked up and hyped. I'm ready to sprint really fast, and then go on a 20-minute easy jog. It's going to mess up the nervous system. They're going to be all confused.
You know how that is.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's fun. I forgot what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, when in doubt, have faith in your coaches. Ask your coaches.
I know where I was going.
Go ahead.
My bad. Also, it might be good if, I don't know how time constraints are at other schools, but I know for some people maybe they can only have their athletes an hour. So maybe, getting a strength and conditioning coach on the side actually would work really well in that situation, if they just don't have enough time to do that kind of stuff in practice.
And this isn't gospel. I mean, different programs going to have different things going on, different time constraints and things of that nature. Some programs are going to have your 100-meter runner and your 2-mile runner doing the exact same workout. I mean, unfortunately, that's just the world we live in. Every coach is not going to have a detailed training plan individualized for their training groups. Sometimes you're going to have that 90s workout like I used to do. All right, everybody go on a 20-minute run. Sprinters too? Yep. Distance too? Yep. Everybody go. 20-minute run. So, I mean, in that instance, I will still respect the coach and just have a conversation, see where they're at and why they're doing what they're doing. And then you might get an answer that you like where, hey, yeah, this would be a good idea. Why don't you do that? And the coach is on board and there's communication. At the end of the day, just make sure there's communication. Because when you're not communicating and you just take it upon yourself to take your children to this other coach or this other strength and conditioning coach or another coach that's training for the same sport but you like their training method better, if there's a lack of communication, once again, that could be the detriment of your athlete. That could lead to injury. At the end of the day, that's what we're trying to avoid. My main philosophy with coaching is safety first. All the other fancy stuff, my philosophy, I believe in fast to slow training. And forget all that. I want my athletes to be there at the end of the season competing in the championship meets. I don't, there's all this stuff that goes into it. At the end of the day, if they're hurt, it doesn't matter what my philosophy is. So first and foremost, safety has to be the number one goal of athletes, coaches, and parents. So just remember that when you want to go out on a limb and take them here or take them there or have them do 2 sports in the same season. It's eventually going to end bad. That's just my take.
Unless they stop early enough.
Yeah.
But
look into the light. Look into the light.
Right.
Now, we don't want to sit here and just beat up parents all night and say, you guys are terrible, you don't know what you're doing, stay away.
Oh, some parents are fantastic.
Yeah. So, what can you do to help, if you want to? There are some parents out there that, they want to be involved, but they don't want to be the hoverers. They actually want to be involved. They want to be beneficial.
And help the team, too.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that. If you want to help out, just remember, going back to what we said before, especially if you want to help the team, your athlete is not the center of the universe. They might be the center of your universe, but once you step into the universe of helping the team, it's got to be team first. There might even be a situation where you're helping the team out when you're not even coaching your specific child. So just remember that. If you want to help out, you got to help everybody out. All right?
Yeah, like, and simple things. One, there were, like in cross country, there would be parents who would bring the tent.
Yeah.
They would set up everything before the team would even arrive. They'd bring in snacks for the kids and the coaches. Keyword for coaches.
Snacks. Shout out to the Masons.
Greatly appreciated. Love your cookies.
Yes.
So, that's one way. Some parents just have different kind of connections. Like, hey, do you want to get team T-shirts? I know someone.
Yeah.
I don't know what else.
Some parents run the fundraisers.
Yeah,
fundraisers.
And also, if you're hosting a track meet, or if the school's hosting a track meet, helping out at the concession stand is great. That's probably it at that point. But helping out there, helping raise money for the track team, whatnot.
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, we even had a great situation that worked out for us this year in our team. We had a parent who did actually run in high school and college, but not only did he run, he actually had some certifications in coaching. Not only did he have certifications in coaching, he actually knew what he was talking about, and he was there watching our track meet, for his child, but then he saw something in our hurdles, like, you know what, I see, this person's doing this, or I think I can help them. And he started coming out one day a week to coach our hurdlers, and it was great. So there are times when having a parent come along and help is a great thing. And he didn't just coach his athlete, he coached every hurdler. It was once a week, but that once a week made a big difference, and everybody enjoyed it. And think about it like this. There's 19 individual events in track and field? I'm going based on outdoor. Roughly 19. Just trust me. If I'm lying, then somebody
it's
go count.
Somewhere around there, whatever.
It's in that
You're
range,
fine.
right? So, in these 19 events, you have some that are sprints, some that are distance, some that are mid-distance. Then you have your field events. Some are jumps that are horizontal. Some are jumps that are vertical. Some are throws. And then you have your hurdles. I just named about 7 different groups. The more help you have in these different groups, it's a lot better of a transition for your athletes, because think about it. I've been there before where I was the sprint coach, I was the jumps coach, I was the hurdles coach, I was the mid-distance coach, I was the throws coach. Somebody's going to get neglected. So that parent coming along and helping us out, yeah, I know hurdles. I can coach hurdles all day, but I also have to coach jumps. I also have to coach sprints. So we had a parent that was able to help out and coach hurdles so that I can focus more on the jumpers and the hurlers. But then we found a jumps coach as well in the beginning of the season who can focus strictly on the jumps. And our hurdle coach could only come once a week. Our jumps coach can come 2 days a week. Kids aren't jumping every day. So, I mean, really that's all you need. So that's where parents who have a coaching background can be very helpful. You don't need to be there 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5, taking attendance and doing everything. If you're available one day, I'm pretty sure the coaching staff can make it work because every little bit helps, especially when, you have somebody that wants to help the entire team and knows what they're doing. It's a great thing and it benefits everybody and nobody feels like they're getting neglected. So, and I've seen a great improvement with our team as a result of that. So,
yeah, sometimes you just need a little help.
Yeah, and needing help doesn't mean that the coaches don't know what they're doing. It just might mean that the coaches may have 180 kids on the team.
Too many students.
It's a lot of bodies.
Some of you parents need to stop having kids.
Or if you have a lot of kids, come help out. Bring snacks because all these kids have appetites.
And the coaches too.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to leave, to use the bathroom or get a snack. Because we usually have somebody that's out there competing. Help us out.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, not with the bathroom thing. We're gonna go if we need to, but with the snacks. I mean,
snacks thing definitely. We like snacks. I'm a fruit and a trail mix guy. Just throwing it out there. Gatorade all day, every day. Grape preferably.
Pizzas, calzones, burgers, and water. Because I got to keep my figure.
Yeah. Figure. Gonna be looking like a baseball. It's all good though.
It's gonna be the figure of a circle.
Yeah, but also another good thing that parents are great for: cheering, support. When athletes see the parents there. I mean, granted, yeah, you might come to the big meet, but if you come to more than just the big meet, you come to the league meets, you come to the invitations leading up to the big meets, just like the support system that you. Just being there and seeing them, these athletes do the sport because they love it. But at the same time, it feels so much better when you have somebody there specifically cheering for you. All right, we all have that, look at me moment that we want to have, and there's nothing wrong with that. So just being that support system and cheering on, once again, not only your kid, but just cheering on the whole team, and just the team morale is always high when you have a lot of support from parents. So
yeah, and. I kind of enjoyed the loud mother.
Yes,
that
definitely.
one who is screaming. Oh my gosh, that makes me laugh. I love it.
Moo!
And also,
Moo!
and also, go Jimmy! And also, when the parents get behind the relays too.
Oh yeah,
that's really fun. Especially if the kid is on a relay, they're cheering for everyone. A little louder for their kid,
of course.
Obviously, as you should. Yeah, as you should.
Yeah,
but that makes the children even just, I call them, they're children, whatever, teenagers.
Yeah,
that just makes them more. Oh my gosh, what's the word? It makes them run better.
Yeah,
usually gives them more excitement, and you hope for a better performance.
Yeah, there you go. Especially on those days where it's early season meet, maybe that second meet in outdoor, and it's outdoor track. Your children know it's outdoor track. The coaches know it's outdoor track, but the weather just kind of forgot that it was outdoor track, so it might still be 40. That's when they really need you.
In Texas, that doesn't matter.
In the Northeast, where we reside at, it always matters. We had weather that was mimicking outdoor track for one league meet this last year. One league meet. None of the and I think one invitational. This is all prior to championship season. Championship season was the first time we had some continuity with good weather. Mm-hmm. So they really needed some support, because when it's freezing out and you run an event and you got like 2 hours before your next event and it's just you're outside in a tent that's not really insulated. Support is a must.
Yeah, just a little advice or hint. There's a website called thewarmingstore.com that has like battery powered like socks, heated socks, heated gloves. I'm just saying, if you want to invest in that would be cool.
Yeah, and have your kids invest in good jackets and good sweatpants and things like that, so they can stop wearing these blankets to track meets.
Yeah.
If I see another kid in just a track uniform, a pair of Uggs, and a blanket, and it's 30 out, come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Last year at this time, I was living in Texas.
I'm hating.
I was at an outdoor track meet.
I'm hating.
I was at an outdoor track meet.
You said last time this year, February.
Last year, yeah, this time.
February, outdoor track meet.
Outdoor track meet.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm hating.
Yeah.
No.
God, I hated it. Listen, it wasn't that great. They don't.
Well, it was cold to them.
No, I don't mean
it's
that.
Only 70.
Just the way they ran. That was about 60, maybe 70. Okay. Yeah, I'll give it 70.
It's probably freezing for them.
They don't run the meets too well over there.
Thin-blooded mammals.
I didn't even stay long.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed for about an hour. I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of boring. I'm out. But
what led to not feeling like it was a well-run meet?
Took too long.
Oh,
it just took too long to get from heat to heat.
Okay.
And I think it had to do with the timers, which it was school owned. So this was a high school meet being hosted by the college I was going to.
Okay.
And
so it's FAT?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate a slow FAT meet.
Ooh. Yeah, like hand time, okay. I mean, I don't ever want to see that unless it's like a league meet or dual meet or something, but this was FAT and it was taking forever.
Been there before.
Yeah. And
not fun.
Yeah, I didn't stay long. Whatever, you guys don't need to know that. Let's go to the next one.
Moving right along. And just remember, we like it when coaches, athletes, parents are supportive of coaches and athletes at the track meets and everything like that. But we're not taking relay suggestions, just throwing it out there. And nope. I've been approached about why so and so isn't running at this position in the relay, why this person got taken off. We have our reasons. Just know that at the end of the day, we are trying to help the team as a whole. So we're like Bill Belichick would say, we're gonna put the team best position to win. We're not saying that it's boring as he says it, but but we're trying to put the team in the best position to win. So it might be okay. We've seen your athlete all week. They look like they're coming off the flu. They just don't have it this week. They might not run in that relay. They might run their individual events just so they can get the meet in, but they're not going to run that relay because they're not going to give their best performance. So they might just run one event that day. It might be disciplinary, or they might just be having a bad, slump where they're just not they're not sick, but they're just not running well. Maybe they just haven't been coming to practice, and think there's different things.
Maybe they're playing soccer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe they got heavy legs from all those extra practices.
Maybe
there's different things.
Maybe your kid isn't that good.
Could be that too. Relays are not for everybody. I mean, the beauty of track is that no matter how many athletes are on the team, everybody can participate.
Yep.
Except for a relay. It's only 4 people. We pick the relay. That's it. That's the only time where the coach can say, we're picking this relay. If a kid wants to run the 100 and there's 19 kids on the team that want to run 100, guess what? 19 kids running the 100 at a league meet and at an indoor meet. Invitationals, not so much because there's limitations to the entries and all that. But typically at a league meet, especially at a JV meet and in indoor meets, if there's 37 kids on the team that want to run the 400, 37 kids are running the 400 if they don't have to run like the event before or right after. But relays are the only time you're really going to see an athlete may not be able to run this week, or sometimes at all, unfortunately. It depends,
Yeah, I like the fat guy relays.
Oh, the thrower relays.
Yeah, we affectionately call them the fat guy relays because they're the pudgy kids that are throwing the shot and the discus. And I'm talking about guys. I don't know if they do that for girls, but I'm keeping it with guys because girls are sensitive. And this day and age, you get in trouble for any little thing. We're talking about fat guys. So
And on the
those are fun to watch, and they love running it too.
Yeah, and our girls throws relay. Shout out to them because they were kind of nice last year. We had a solid girls throwing relay, and we had a girl on the team like she's a thrower. You wouldn't think that she's a sprinter. She was the fastest one on the throwers relay. She was nice. Shout out to Caitlin. Caitlin was the truth, But yeah. So just know that just like we do in practice, we have plans set up. So at certain days we do certain things to target certain areas. We do the same thing with our track meets. We have athletes in certain events to try and excel in certain areas, whether it be a championship meet when we're trying to win, or maybe it's a league meet where we might want to win, but the workout is more important than the win. So today might be an 800 day. So you're running the open 8 and the 4x8 because today we need you to run 2 800s. We're not trying to do it for a PR. We're trying to do it for training purposes. Today you might run the 1500 and then the 200 as a cool down. You might run the 400 as a warm up to the 3000 later, the 2 mile later. There's different things we do, and it's not always for the win. It's for the development and the growth. So just remember that when you're getting ready to say, why is Jimmy not running on the relay? It happens. But Jimmy ain't running on the relay today because that's not part of the plan. Or maybe we're not going to win if Jimmy runs the relay because Jimmy's not well at handoffs. Jimmy could be super fast, but Jimmy drops the baton all the time, and we don't want anybody doing push-ups for baton drops.
And just so you know, as a coach, it doesn't bother me if a parent yells at me because I don't really care about them.
Yeah, and
I don't really care about you. I got other things to worry about. So have at it.
Yeah. And I love parents, but at the same time, if I made a decision, I made it solely based on your athlete and the team. And there's no outside influence in that. So it's not a personal vendetta. I made it because either A, this gives us the best chance to excel, or B, your student athlete may not be doing what they need to do to hold on to the position they may have had on a relay. So I know that because I'm at practice every day and I see what's going on and I know what's going on. And so just remember that we're doing things for a reason. And if you feel like it is a punishment, sometimes it may be. Sometimes it's just the way that the chips fall. But those decisions are usually going to be final. So
yeah, go to the AD, whatever.
Yeah, but usually we've talked to the AD already and they know what's going on. So
yeah.
Sorry for ya.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Yeah, just continue to be that supportive parent, through thick and thin, and just know that sometimes your athletes do mess up. They make mistakes. They might have come to practice late. They might have skipped the practice because they were, being a juvenile, and it cost them. But still be supportive. Still, after you break them down, build them back up. So, especially on those ride homes, after a good meet, after a bad meet, be that supportive parent. They have a good meet, hey, treat them to something nice. They have a bad meet, build them up. Let them know that this isn't the end of the world.
And treat them to something nice.
Yeah, either way, and coaches, because, if your child had a bad meet, there's a portion of a bad meet that we had too, because we want everybody to have a good meet at the end of the day. So
yeah, just don't tell them what they should have done.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, don't. That doesn't.
Because we'll probably tell them that at the appropriate time in practice.
And we'll say it in a way better way than
you we won't say what you should have done was get your head out of your rear. No, we're not going to say that. We'll say this is what happened, and this is probably what we can do to avoid that in the future, Unless you're just a wordsmith and you can say that without saying what you should have done, But yeah, just at the end of the day, just be supportive. Remember, these are children, They're looking to us as coaches, us as parents, to to be their support system. So let's just make sure we be their support system, like that.
Basically.
And also, parents, when we're at a track meet, think of it like, I know it's not football, I know it's not soccer, I know it's not basketball where the coach is on the sideline and you have no access to him. Pretend it is like that though, because even though we're at a track meet and we might be, it looks like we're just standing there, we may not be able to have a long conversation. If you want to quick ask this question, no, we're not unapproachable, but we might look like we're standing there, but we could be getting splits for like 3 athletes running the same race at a time, just so we can help, with their development in practice. Okay, these are your splits for your race. This is what your time was. How can we improve this race? What splits do we need to improve on? There's lots of different things that are going on. We might just be standing there at the long jump pit, and it looks like we're just hanging out watching long jump, but we're actually looking at their takeoff, their landing, their approach that led to the takeoff and landing. Is something they did in the approach that threw off their takeoff and landing, because usually that's what happens. Same thing with the hurdle. We could just be watching any race, and it looks like we're just standing there enjoying and being a fan, but we're actually critiquing the whole time. So if a coach gives you short answers at a track meet, don't take it personal. Wait till an event when you see there's not any athletes from the school in.
Even then, we might be watching athletes from other teams and getting splits on them just to see what their tendencies are.
Yeah.
For when it comes to like championship season or whatever, especially like when it comes to distance, if you want to look at it that way. Hey, so and so tends to slow down laps 2 and 3. We'll do this, that, and a third, whatever. I mean, that could happen as well. But you might have a pretty good time talking to a coach during the race walk.
Yeah. I'm always available during race walks, so if you want to talk to Coach Harris, as soon as the gun goes off for the race walk, come holler. I'm there, ready, willing and able to answer all questions during the race walk.
Because we're not watching,
especially if there's a guy in the race walk. I'll answer even more questions. We can go to the concession stand and have a hot chocolate if it's outdoor, have a coffee if it's outdoor. It's whatever. But yeah. No disrespect to the race walkers, but
whatever. I don't like the race walk. I don't think it should be an event. My personal opinion. That's why I don't hashtag that on our Instagram or Twitter posts. I don't even put race walk.
There's a hashtag for that?
I'm sure.
God, why?
I'm sure.
I feel bad for all the girls when I see them finish the race walk and they just look like their hips are about to pop out of the socket.
Bro, they're tired. Though.
Yeah. I mean, people may joke and laugh. Oh, the race walk, they're just walking. That looks like the most painful race in the world. Forget hurdles. Forget steeplechase.
Steeple's fun.
Yeah, at least steeple, you get to cool off on a hot race when you hit the water pit.
Oh, it's bad when it's cold, though. When it's cold outside.
You see somebody just get dunked all the way underneath.
You know it.
Feel sorry for you, bruh.
Yeah.
But race walk, oh my God. Them girls cross the finish line and it just feels like they've gotten the biggest burden of the world off of their shoulders and off of their hips. Because, man, look, just playing around, people sit there and play and do the race. Oh, my hips hurt. Imagine doing that for the whole race.
I'm good.
But you're in competition. Yeah, I'm good. I think, yeah. I'm good with all that.
Yeah, still, get rid of it. Get rid of that event. Well, you don't want to take. I'm guessing there's some pros who make some money off of it with endorsements or whatnot. So
I will say
I'm not trying to take money out there. But
I will say this whatever. Though. On a flip to that.
Oh, most of them do it wrong, anyways. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. But on the flip side of that, you know why most of them do it wrong?
Because they're jogging. Well,
yeah. But what's missing from the race that is going to allow them to do it wrong?
What's missing from the race that I don't know. Where are you going with this?
Race walk officials. So, sidebar conversation for any of you out there who are officials and you're looking to get in. Maybe, I don't know, the Olympic Games is your hopes or the Olympic trials. There is a shortage of race walk officials. Yep. I just threw it out there. That's a jewel. I dropped it. Did you catch it? So if anybody's an official or anybody looking to be an official, if you want to come up quick, race walk is where it's at. If you want to talk to a coach during a meet, race walk is where it's at. So there you go. That's your jewels for the week, the month. Actually, that's your jewel until the next Olympiad.
Yeah,
so
two more years, 2.5 more years.
Yep. So
Tokyo.
Yeah.
I would like to go.
I think I'm gonna try and hold out for when it comes back to the States.
Well, 2024.
2024. Yeah, 6 years. 6 years.
I don't think I. LA though, it's already crowded now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it.
They did it in '84, so I mean,
No, I get that. But there's a lot more people.
There's definitely a lot more people. I'm just saying as far as the experience and the management, and they're hosting All-Star Weekend this weekend.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, LA has done some things.
No,
they're definitely capable. So I mean, it will be crowded. It will be sold out.
Oh my gosh!
But I think it'll be a manageable chaos. It'll be like a track meet, controlled chaos.
I mean, if I could stay with a friend, you know those Uber and Lyft drivers are gonna be making bank.
Oh my god!
Yo,
hey, if you drive Uber or Lyft,
never mind. I'm going.
Yeah,
I'm going.
Just drive people around for the days you're not going to track meets.
Listen, you're gonna be in the car for 3 hours with the person because that's gonna be that much traffic.
Tick.
Ooh,
that's some bank.
You know what? Never mind. I'm going.
I need to be an Uber and a Lyft driver. Can you do both?
Yes. I'll give you a code.
Yeah. Uber money's drying up. Turn on that Lyft.
Yeah.
Turn on that Lyft app. We're just completely straight, but it's all good though.
That's all right.
Yeah. 2024, go Olympics. Oh man, anything you want to add on to that topic?
I don't hate parents. Obviously, I came from, two people.
Yeah.
But
he said I came from two people.
And they're still together, still married, going strong.
You just made yourself sound like a test tube baby. That's
yeah, I know. I know what I did.
Yeah.
32 years, I think. 33. How old am I? I don't remember. Anyways, I think about 33 years they've been together. So, I mean, I appreciate the good parents.
Oh yeah.
I loathe the crappy parents.
We loathe the helicopter parents. We love the great parents. We love the Mason parents who make cookies on a regular basis for their coaches.
Yeah.
Appreciate you all.
Section was this weekend, so
we're expecting a batch.
I'm expecting a batch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, section was this weekend. So
yes, this weekend, championship weekend.
Yeah.
For a lot of areas.
And then the week after would be the state qualifiers. So
yep.
Next week we'll have some, and we'll talk a little bit about how sectionals went. Hopefully, it goes really good.
Yeah, that's the plan.
We're in a good way. We're expecting one good competition and two good results.
Yep.
And by we, I mean I just help them out a little bit.
He's still weak because when I came in, he was already there. So we're all Hilton track and field family.
I used to coach where Coach Harris is at. So
yeah.
I mean,
we're all track family here, so it's like even though
there's always the connection, I'll always have it there. So
yeah,
I mean, as long as the coaches are still there, if you guys get all replaced, then I don't care anymore.
Yeah, that's we're gonna be racewalk official and get that money. Racewalk, Uber, and Lyft. That's where the future's at.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, be podcasting from L.A.
Yeah, Yeah, and yeah, I think that's it. We'll just give them the Instagram handle, Twitter handle.
Yeah, you want to throw out all the math on that?
If I can remember, let's see, Instagram and Twitter. You can find us at Track Talk.
Track Talk with us.
Track Talk with us.
That's IG and Twitter. So
yeah, you can also find this podcast on YouTube, on SoundCloud, on iTunes. And we'll leave some descriptions. We'll leave the links in the YouTube.
Yeah, all links will be in description for if you're listening to this on YouTube, you found it. But if you want to subscribe to iTunes, the link will be in description. SoundCloud will be in description. If you're listening on all of the other avenues, just click on the lyrics section if you're in iTunes and you'll find all this information. If you're in SoundCloud, you shouldn't be. You should be on iTunes or YouTube. But yeah, all the information will be there. So, keep up with us. Our email is 585tracktalk@gmail.com. Let us know if you got any questions, concerns. Let us know if you have a topic you want us to discuss. Let us know if you hate some of the things we hate and you like a lot of the things that we like. We'll talk about it, For real.
I like talking junk, so, we can bring it to.
We just like keeping it real. We don't want to sugarcoat it and be like, oh, your baby is just wonderful. No, it's going to tell you the truth. Truth hurts, but it feels better telling the truth.
Yeah, true, and open communication is always good.
Yeah,
you can't cross cables that way.
Yeah, but anyway, on our next episode, we're gonna try and highlight you on hopefully the wonderful outcome of our championship weekend, our Section 5 championships, and then we'll I think the topic of this next show will be what new athletes can expect what a new athlete starting out track for the first time can expect. Maybe you might be, this is your first time ever running track. Maybe you ran, in the elementary school days, and that's your first time running at the high school level. We'll talk about what you can expect, things of that nature, what to look out for, what to avoid. You might see a common theme, but we'll talk about that next time. Got anything else you want to add to that?
Nope.
Alrighty, man of many words. He is Ferdy. That's him on IG and Twitter. You can hit me up at Coach Harris TF.